Hello, this is Agnish Bhaduri from Visitex Solutions, and welcome to the first use case in the blockchain series. Now, we will be considering several use cases in this series, and these will be updated regularly as the number of use cases keep increasing. However, to start off with the first one, I want to take an offbeat use case because I'm pretty sure that there must still be some viewers who are expecting that blockchain is equal to Bitcoin. I want to make you understand through this example how the blockchain can be used for different purposes. So, the first use case we'll be considering is the car lease model that has been developed by IBM. Now, while viewing this video, remember we are still in early 2017, so this is still a POC. And hopefully by the time you have seen this video, I might have come up with a new one because there might be some more progress on it. However, the use case is really interesting. When I first heard about it, I would never have expected the blockchain to be used for this particular industry. And understanding such use cases has led me to understand the blockchain technology even better. So let's start. Now, why was there a requirement to use blockchain in car leasing? To understand that, let's look at the current system or the old system that was being used. It would first start with the regulator who would pass an allowance to the manufacturer to manufacture that car. This would start when, of course, the manufacturer applied for that particular license or that allowance and got that license to get that design manufactured. Then, once the manufacturer has the allowance, they will then manufacture the car and then sell it to the leasing company. Now, a leasing company can either get their cars directly from manufacturers or from actual car owners. The emergence of Uber in current day makes this use case really interesting. Now, a leasing company can source its cars from two sources. One, they can actually buy their cars and have an inventory of cars. Or second, they can simply lease cars from existing owners. Now, then the leasing company is going to open dealerships, partner with dealers around the country, and then the dealer is going to receive these cars and lease them out to the lessee. And finally, the car will go to the scrap merchant once it has completely deteriorated. Throughout this process, there's a lot of paperwork involved. And this paperwork is extremely important in understanding what is the source of the car, whether it is insured, whether it is within the regulations of the particular country you're driving it. So, whether you're a lessee or a dealer, you need to know that the car that you're going to use or receive for your commercial purpose is regulated, is legal, is insured to ensure that there are no damages later on. But how do you do this? Current day documentation is extremely complex. There are multiple documents, with multiple purposes, and these documents can be faked very easily. And this poses a problem. Many people just choose to take a risk of not examining the paperwork carefully and just lease a car. But this system is not efficient. And that is where blockchain can help out. Now remember, a blockchain is a ledger. It can record different kinds of entries and transactions. And this should give you an idea of how we can use it in this particular industry. Now, let's reimagine the same workflow, but this time under blockchain. Every transaction, every record, every single entry is going to be maintained on a common database, and every party, starting from the regulators right up till the scrap merchant, is going to have their own local copy of this. Thus, as we've seen previously in the blockchain, all the records will be verified by each and every entity. And hacking this network and changing existing data is going to be a big problem for anyone who tries to commit fraud. So let's go through the same workflow. The regulator gives the allowance to the manufacturer, but it is now stored in a common database. This database is accessible for all parties, right from the regulator, the leasing company, the dealers, lessees, etc. So as soon as the new entry comes into the database, for example, allowance passed, car manufactured, all the legal documents required are going to be posted on that database for everyone to see. Next, when it goes to the leasing company, when was it last serviced? What is the status of its parts? What are scratches? And for anyone who's leased a car before, we understand the importance of existing scratches and new scratches. Hopefully, not many of you have learned that the hard way. So, what are the previous scratches? Whom were they made by? When was the car last insured? When was it last serviced? And by whom? Imagine all of this data being stored on a common database and being verified by everyone in this network. Thus, suppose I want to lease a car and I go to a particular dealer and I receive that car, I will already have the relevant paperwork for that car given to me by the dealer, and I can go through all that paperwork and I know that it is verified because it supports a blockchain network. The scrap merchant, the dealer, the leasing company, they can all be comfortable because they know that the system is very difficult to hack. And this improves the entire existing workflow. So what is the value addition that IBM has done? Well, first they've improved the efficiency. Instead of having multiple paperwork with different types, formats, for purposes, there's one singular source of data which is then copied to everyone. So any new transaction is automatically updated in everyone's books. This ensures that there's no duplication of paperwork and no chances of fraud. Second, improved efficiency could mean that the lag between the transfer of vehicle from the manufacturer to the end user could reduce. Now, the dealer might want to get an inventory of cars faster during a holiday season. This particular point can also be useful when you're buying a car. We all know while buying a car, the registrations and other processes take time. These processes can be made instant by using blockchain. So having an availability or an inventory of cars for the dealer or the leasing company can now become much faster. Third, it enhances the transparency in the system, and this puts more faith into the system. You're more likely in the future to lease a car from a company that uses the blockchain from one that does not. Fourth, it reduces the processing time of each transaction, right from the clearances to service records. All these paperwork is updated almost instantly, and thus this reduces the amount of time of processing that it takes to transfer a car from manufacturer to leasing to end user, etc. Then you're mitigated from cybersecurity and fraud risks. Like we mentioned, it's a safe and secure system. The chances of fraud occurring are really rare because it is economically unviable. And finally, it reduces any kind of middlemen who are involved in this paperwork and verification process. Thus, it will reduce the cost. In a sense, IBM want to ensure that the new system is more secure, it is more reliable, and it puts more faith of the customer onto the leasing company. And this is the value addition that IBM are trying to create in this particular industry. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave your comments on how we can further improve the system and brainstorm in the comment section below. This is Agnish Baduri. Thank you.